I was lost in my head, looked around, there was no one there. I got out to breathe the fresh air.
What was it like to start stand-up comedy in Iceland? Where did you start? When did you begin?
There's nothing happening here. Me and some friends just did like an open mic night that we arranged ourselves, and it was just like an experiment. All of us were like kind of involved in something related to performing in one capacity or other. We'd all dabbled in like, in school we'd been in like debates and stuff like that. We'd all had some stage experience, but it was really a big leap of faith to do it for the first time.
When was this?
2009 was the first gig. And it went well. We got booked. We got a paid gig like the next month. Took a road trip to the north. Wound up doing a paid gig. This is like our third or fourth gig ever at an art museum. And I think there was just a lot of need for stand-up at the time and a lot of appetite for it. Also, it happened after the bank collapse. So we had a lot of topical stuff about that. And it was just, I think it was, in hindsight, it was like a really good time to start doing comedy. But at the time, there was no plan. It was just like a dare. Let's just do it. But we just kept doing it, and we're still doing it. Although this group has not performed now for, I think, 2 years because of COVID, and we took a year off.
Okay.
So it's 11 years. No, this is my 12th year. This is my 12th year.
But
I still feel
a lot of things has happened since. I mean, you've been all around the world.
Yeah, mainly Finland though. Mainly Finland.
But you now released the Netflix special.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that. How did that happen? I mean,
I just decided to go for years I've been doing these Nordic festivals, primarily Finland, where I had been doing my English version of My Icelandic stuff, and I was just doing my best 15. And one of the bits in the special I wrote the night that I met you for the first time in 2011. I remember very vividly sitting in a dressing room in Åbo Teatern in Turku. There was this like Turku theater.
It was like at this festival, right?
Yeah. It was like a landskamp.
Oh,
so it was you and Pirje, and I think Stan was the MC, and then Andre. And
I remember this. This was Swedish theater.
Yeah.
Turku, Åbo,
so
Swedish
theater, and that's why I called it. I think it was called Åbo something. Anyway,
Åbo Svenska Teatern. Åbo Svenska Teatern.
Yeah. So Stan at some point referred to me as the ghost of Tove Jansson. I don't know why. But I remember just before that happened, we were sitting in the dressing room. I was writing a set list, and I was trying to write an opening bit that kind of evolved into a bit that's in the Netflix special. And as I was like thinking, I looked at you, and you were writing your set list, and you looked at me, and you looked at me like I was trying to copy your set list, which was all in Finnish, and you went like, it was like we're doing an exam.
So that's why the Netflix special sounds so familiar.
So you were just like writing Moikka, terve. Oh, you were writing Finnish words, and I was like, I'm gonna copy his answers, see how I do. But,
I do remember that. Remember that. Yes.
It was the first time we met.
Yeah, that's actually the only time I have performed in that particular place. So.
Amazing. That was 10 years ago, man. 10 years ago. But I wound up taking this show and bits and pieces to Edinburgh in 2017, and I met a great manager there, an agent.
Did you do the whole festival? I mean, the whole month?
Yeah. I was recommended to do the entire festival. I was only going to do 2 weeks, but the guy who booked me there said like, nah, mate, you don't want to do just 2 weeks, mate. If you've got a good show, and if it goes rolling, and if it gets, a lot of people come in the last few days, and you regret going back. If you were having a lovely fringe, you'd regret having to go back. So the month, and I did the month, and Yeah, and I got an agent like on the second last day or something.
How was it before that? Because I've been talking to some comedians and they all said, like Mike Wilmot said, Edinburgh can eat you alive.
Yeah, it can. Well, there was like it was 2,800 shows, I think, competing there. Each one being performed 20 times on average.
Yeah.
So you're up against 50,000 other performances basically over the run. But I was lucky. I was in a small room in a club that was really popular during this Fringe, the Monkey Barrel. It was brand new, and word got out, and I sold out every show.
Oh my god!
So
that must be like a really, really, really good experience, and you get to craft your, your English set must be like comes to really like a really tight set.
I had been told to expect that I might only have like one person for a show, or have like a couple of shows where there was no one. We would have to pull them, and I was very lucky that didn't happen, because I did manage to sell enough tickets beforehand. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because I got some press before I came there, and there was some buzz.
Did you do any radio shows and that kind of stuff? Because
yeah. Random stuff got booked. I didn't have an agent for the run, but random stuff did get booked. I had encountered some BBC people in Iceland who were doing like the arts show, the arts hour. So they had interviewed me and I'd done a stand-up for them, and really nice. So they pointed me towards someone at the BBC, so I got to perform in the BBC tent. And then I got booked there to do like a radio show, a Scottish radio show called the Janice Fawcett Show. And I think the average age in the crowd was 50 to 60. And the day after I did that interview, you could see the age of the people coming to my show rising considerably. And like, I think the guy working at the club was like, "All right, you've summoned your grey army." And I did some radio, and I did every single extra show that I could to flyer and promote. And that's a great
hard
experience.
work. I have heard the month is really hard work.
It is, and it is especially hard here, because you get sucked into it so quick, and if you're not careful to take yourself out of it a little bit, you can get so obsessed with like numbers. What about the numbers? Which is like, how many tickets have we sold? What are the numbers? What are the numbers looking like for the week tonight? Numbers. There was a guy I heard about this guy who was talking to another comedian, and he said, "Right, how's it going? How's the show going?" "Oh, it's good. It's good. Yeah, I think I'm really getting the structure of it." "Numbers, cunt. Numbers." He just wanted to know how many people.
How hard it was to get your own special from in Netflix? Was it did you try to do it for a long time, or was it just like happened like really fast?
Oh, well, we always kind of aimed for trying to do one. And traditionally you would get like a production company to take it on and to share the profits with. Usually the comedian will make a deal with the production company. The production company will put out the money and film it and make it, and then that gets sold to Netflix, and then expenses are recouped, and then they're split 50-50 or something. I don't know how it goes usually, but I was always going to film it abroad. That was like my thing. I thought it has to be filmed abroad. It cannot be filmed at home in front of local people, because this is a version of the show that's for foreign people who don't know anything about Iceland. But then time went on, and I hadn't filmed it abroad, and I had never really found out where I would like to film it abroad. I mean, I've performed many places, but they're usually quite small. So I thought, I want to do it in a theater, and I don't know if I can get enough people to go to a theater in London. Plus, it's very expensive, and I don't really know anyone in the film industry there. So in the end, when I was going to do my second Edinburgh run, I decided to just film it for archival purposes, just before it would become too old or I would forget it. But then I went like, I'm not going to just film it for archival purposes. I'm going to film it just in case in like glorious 4K, so that it's up to speed with like the present technology and what, for example, Netflix would require. And then it just sat unedited for a while. And then my director really took the reins by getting it finished, editing it. And at some point, Netflix started looking at it, and there was a dialogue, and it might happen and might not happen. And then all of a sudden it did. And I was very, very relieved that it did, because there was not a lot happening over here when it went on. It was in December last year.
I gotta get out.